Hi, Year 8. In this video, we're going to look at how to find the volume of any prism. So far, we have looked at prisms being made up of layers. So this prism here can be separated into layers. And we saw in one of the worksheets that we did that we can find the volume of the first layer, or how many cubes are in the first layer, and then multiply by how many layers there are. And we can use this principle to find the volume of any prism. If I can find the area of the first layer and then multiply by how many layers, that's how I can find the volume. And we can see that here, that the volume equals the area of the face multiplied by the perpendicular height, where the perpendicular height is how many layers there are. Remember, it's got to be the area of the cross section. A prism has consistent cross section, so the cross section, we have to find the area of the consistent cross section, then multiply by the height. Let's have a look at how this works. So in this first example here, we've been given the area of the cross section. So all we need to do, the volume will be the area of the cross section times the height. And I forgot to put the height on, sorry, it's 4 centimeters. Remember, when doing this, they need to be in the same unit. So if this is centimeters, this has to be in centimeters as well. So in this case, the area is 25 times 4, and we'll get 100 centimeters squared. Okay, in the second example, I need to find the area of the cross section. So the area of the consistent cross section, and then multiply by how many layers I have. So the first thing I need to ask myself is, what shape is my cross section? Well, it's a rectangle. So I need to find the area of that rectangle. So area of a rectangle is length times breadth, which will be 3 times 10, which will be 30 centimeters squared. Now for the volume, I need to take that area and multiply by how many layers there are. So it's area times how many layers, and there are 7 layers of this. If we're going to separate it out into like this diagram here, it would have 7 layers going back this way, 7 layers. So we need to take that area, which is 30, and times by 7, which will be 210 centimeters cubed. Recognize that for the area, the units are centimeters squared, but for the volume, it's centimeters cubed. Let's have a look at another couple of examples. So we need to find the consistent cross section, the face that will be the same no matter where we cut it. So in this case, that's my cross-sectional area. I need to find the area of that. First thing I need to ask myself is, what shape is it? Well, it's a triangle. So how do I find the area of a triangle? It's going to be a half times the base times the height. So it's going to be a half times. Now remember, the base and the height are the 2 lengths that meet at a right angle. In this case, it's a right angled triangle, so your base and height are going to be 3 and 4. So 3 times 4 is 12, and half of that is 6, so I get 6 centimeters squared. Now to find the volume, I need to take that area and multiply by how many layers there are. There are 9 layers, so it's area times the height. So it'll be 6 times 9, which will be 54 centimeters cubed. Okay, for question D, we need to find the area of this face here. I need to ask myself, what shape is that? Well, that's a parallelogram. How do I find the area of a parallelogram? Base times height. Remember, that's the base times the perpendicular height, not the slant. So not the side length, we need the perpendicular height here. So it's 9 times 6, which will be 54 centimeters squared. Now that gives me the area of the face. I now need to multiply by how many layers I have. I have 4 layers. So the volume will be area times the height, which will be 54 times 4, which will be 216 centimeters cubed. It's really important that you are setting your working out logically, okay? Please don't just write an answer without working out. You need to show that you have found the area of the face and then you have multiplied it by the height of the prism. Now the height of the prism, as we said back here, h is the perpendicular height. What that means, it's the length that meets at a right angle with the face. So it's at perpendicular to the face. All right, last one. This time I need to find the area of this face here. I have to ask myself, what shape is this? Well, this is a trapezium. So it'll be a half a plus b times h. Now remember, A and B are your parallel sides. So it's a half times 8 plus 12 times 7. And all you need to do then is put it in your calculator. So half of 20 is 10. 10 times 7 is going to be 70. Now the volume, now I just need to take that area and multiply by how many layers I have, or the perpendicular height. How far does the prism go back? Well, it's going to be 70 times 7, 490. Yeah, centimeters cubed. Okay, and that's how you find the volume of any prism. Start by finding the area of the cross section and then multiplying by how many layers you have.